Welcome to the Lead Pedal Podcast with your host, Bruce Outridge, where he talks all things trucking. Now let's get rolling.
Hello, welcome to another episode of the Lead Pedal Podcast. This is a Q&A episode, and today a listener had a question about pre-trip inspections for owner-operators, and we're going to find out all about that. But before I get into that, I want to tell you all about Rosedale Transport. Rosedale Transport is a trucking company based in Mississauga, Ontario. In fact, they have locations all throughout Canada. They have over 15 locations, over 800 employees. They've been in business for over 50 years. They even have a location down in Dalton, Georgia. And they have all kinds of work from local to owner-operator to regional to highway. Whatever you're looking for, they are looking for you. But they're looking for quality. They're not looking for just anybody to come in. They've got some very good drivers there, and they're got a very good reputation in the trucking industry. And they don't want to blow that with somebody who doesn't care. So they're looking for top drivers, top owner-operators. Where can you learn more? Go to rosedaleGroup.com. If you click on the careers tab, it'll tell you exactly what opportunities are available in which locations. You can transfer location to location if opportunities are available. So I would certainly check them out. Tell them we sent you. rosedaleGroup.com. All right, let's talk about this listener had a question. And the question comes in, says, pre-trip inspection. I'm a new driver and I've noticed that no one in my company does a brake test. That's a little dangerous. We do just local driving. Is this a common practice? I asked my trainer and his answer was, you do whatever you like. It's your pre-trip. Oh, that sounds a bit scary. So there's a question. Now, I want to team it to owner-operators because this month is business month. And a lot of owner-operators, I think, do pre-trips, but do they do them properly? You know, you get into a system with your truck where you kind of know it pretty well, and maybe you stop doing questions. So pre-trip and question. So to answer this question, I am a new driver and I've noticed that no one in my company does a brake test. We do just local driving. Is this a common practice? You'd be surprised how common it is. And I hate to say that it's a common practice, but it's a common practice because people don't know how to do one. And especially at a local level, and I don't know what kind of trucks they have, but you will find some of these companies where they're delivery companies, you know, for like a furniture store or something like that, may not be doing pre-trip inspections the way you're supposed to. I know a lot of them you don't. You're supposed to, but a lot of people don't, especially if they're doing driving the same truck every day. They get used to it. They kind of stop doing that. Now, he's saying he hasn't seen anyone do a brake test. Depending on the company, if they have the washers or the goalposts on their brakes, you don't have to do a mark and measure the way you would normally, but you still need to check your brake. So yes, they should be checking your brake. I don't know why anybody's not doing it. I think they need to get a new trainer if the trainer's answer is you do whatever you like, because that's not the right way to do a brake test. You know what? I'm going to tell you about RIMS Transport here before we get into the owner-operator part of this. RIMS Transport's an owner-operator fleet based out of Hamilton, Ontario, and they deal just with owner-operators. And I can tell you that owner-operators do have to do their brake tests and all of that kind of stuff. And we're actually going to talk with Martin Molinaro, who is a safety person, one of the safety person with RIMS Transport right after this. But RIMS Transport is looking for owner-operators. If you've got interest in flatbed, bulk tanker, or if you're interested in end dump, they have positions available. They've got local work, they've got regional, and they've got heavy highway. So whatever you're looking for, they run out of Hamilton, Ontario. They're based about a 500-mile radius, and so that can work for you. And we're going to talk with Martin. I'm going to share an interview that I did with him about people and their brakes right after this. All right, so this is an interview I did with Martin a while ago about owner-operators, his role, and what he does for owner-operators. Here we go. This is the guy that's checking your logbooks. This guy did all this. What's your actual role? I'm sure you do a lot more than that.
So I work a lot in the field.
Yep.
I believe that as a safety manager, it's always an asset to be available to all guys who work in the field. If they have questions or if they have any concerns, they can raise those to me, and I can either do two things: coach, mentor, or I can give them direction or advice to successfully do what they have to do to be safe here as a company, right? So that's the first one. The second part would be I do a lot of administrative work, so I handle all of the running authorities, both on the U.S. side and the Canadian side. I do all the CBR renewals, do all the road testing for any new owner-operators that are coming into the company. So there's a full evaluation process that goes on. After the evaluation process is completed, then I find out where a guy may be lacking in skill and ability, and I coach and mentor what I think they need to know so that they're more successful without getting fines and violations on the road. So my perspective is, my goal is always to prevent incidents from happening and try to identify guys who may be more at risk than others in certain areas, and then help them so that they don't have problems in the future.
Right. Now, you and I know each other from prior training facilities, but you came out of the construction industry, if I remember correctly. That was a strong point in your...
So I did 15 years driving truck. I did about 2.5 on the highway. And I did about 8 years of time with King Paving in Burlington. Yeah. And I was running live bottoms, end dumps. I was running their heavy equipment on the big floats that they had. And we did a lot of big asphalt projects, like we repaved the Skyway Bridge, stuff like that. So I was really active in the construction area, and I'm actually a heavy equipment operator by trade as well, right? So I've got a lot of seat time operating the big iron. So that's what I did before I moved into KRTS as a trainer.
Right. And I think that's what makes a good trainer, because you and I know through the industry, there's a lot of people who are safety and compliance, but they've never actually been in a truck. They don't know what one's like. Yeah. And not that they're not doing a good job, it's just their job is more administrative than some, right? And I think it's important, especially for senior drivers, and I think that owner-operators are probably not their first year out, right? So these guys have been on the road for a while, so to relate and understand to you. So what kind of programs do you find that you really need? Because owner-operators may feel that they know it all. What works for you? What do you find they need to really help, that really helps an owner-operator be successful and safe on the road?
I think pre-trip inspections is the most important part of any owner-operator's day. I find that, generally speaking, the Schedule 1 is very specific and it's very technical. Yeah. So when a driver does this pre-trip inspection, there's a lot of parts that are involved with Schedule 1 that a lot of drivers may have forgotten, or a lot of drivers think they know, but they don't technically know what the right answer is. So I spend a lot of time training based upon Schedule 1, because really a driver is doing his whole inspection based on that, the difference between the minor and major defect, right? So I find that most guys are really good at doing a routine, but the technical side of that routine is something that we actually focus on our driver training. It takes me anywhere between 4 to 8 hours of time to work with an owner-operator to get him to understand the Schedule 1 base. And I find that if a driver knows that Schedule 1 as well as I do, they will essentially know the difference whether I can take the truck on the road or not. Yeah. So that's I think if any owner operator or driver is trying to self-improve, that's an area of focus for sure.
Is it easier? So where you get caught, and I know when I worked for a lot of fleets, I had a lot of dedicated equipment, same truck, same trailer all the time. And so you get used to that. You know, you can go around that, you know what defects you kind of have. And these guys own their own, and some of them own their own trailers. Does it make it harder for you? Like, do you get configurations and stuff that maybe is not the norm, or does it make it harder to follow that Schedule 1? I mean, we all have it, but then you add a different axle, you add some different specialized chrome, even can make a big difference.
Yeah, I think equipment specific can absolutely vary, and like Jim was talking about. So we have end dumps, we have tanker trailers, we have flatbeds, we have tandems, we have heavy flats, we have 6 axles that go to the States. So we have a lot of different configurations, but mostly the undercarriage of all equipment is generally the same.
Yeah.
So anything above the frame rails is going to be a little bit different.
Yeah.
So the difference between flatbed and end dump would be load securement. Right. So load securement is his own chapter. In fact, it has its own book. Yeah. So load securement can be a really in-depth conversation.
All right, so there you go. So that's a good interview with Martin Molinaro there with Rims Transport. He's been around for a long time. So good things there, some tips there for owner-operators on how you can improve your pre-trips. And in relation to our question from our driver, Rubisoro, yes, drivers should be doing a brake test. And it doesn't matter whether you're local, highway, whatever, you need to be doing a proper pre-trip. And if you don't know how to do that, that's where you need to get, you can find the information on your own. If you don't know how to do one, there's lots of information around. Again, this trainer, I'm a little concerned that this trainer said, do whatever you like. It's your pre-trip. I hope they were just being funny at that point, because that's not a funny thing to be teasing around with when it comes to brakes. Our lead pedal Q&A is general in nature, so please consult a professional. For something like this, you may want to talk to a proper trainer about how this works, or maybe you need to get some more company. Go talk to your company fleet supervisor and say, hey, you know what, maybe we need some more training in this. I know people aren't doing it, because this is a real thing that's really could put you into a bad spot if you hit somebody or kill somebody. So let's hope that does not happen for you. All right, well, thanks. Hey, before we go, let me tell you about Driver Check. Driver Check wants you to be safe, whether it's on the road or in the workplace. And that's why they have drug and alcohol testing programs. That's why they have cannabis programs. And that's why they are all about workplace safety. So if you are office or you've got questions about drivers on the road, drivers in the office staff, anything like that, about keeping the workplace safe, Driver Check can help you. Check out their Fitness for Duty Summit, which happens every year. And you can learn more about them at drivercheck.ca, and make sure you tell them that we sent you. All right, my friends, we'll talk to you later. Be good out there. Bye for now.
This has been another episode of the Lead Pedal Podcast. For more information or to subscribe to the podcast, visit theleadpedalpodcast.com, and be sure to follow the podcast on Facebook and Twitter.